Rahim, in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most compassionate, the most merciful. All praise and thanks are due to Him, and peace and blessings be upon His beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He who is guided by the will of Allah, no one can misguide him, and he who is misguided, no one can guide him except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is His messenger. You know this dua in Arabic? Alhamdulillah. Which one? من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأن محمدا عبده ورسوله. This is the Arabic translation for the English dua that I always start with. It's a very beautiful dua. Anyway, last time we did start dealing with chapter 1, i.e. the introduction. And we started the example of the author himself, which is the path and the two roads. Do you remember? And as I tell you, please read everything in the chapter. Today I will finish the chapter. So I'm picking and choosing out of 10 to 15 examples. Each example is focusing on something. So last time we highlighted the example of the path and the two roads. Can one or two of you tell me just very quickly what was the core point of the example? What was the point which the author was trying to let us be aware of? You have an idea? Raise up your hand. The last one, sister. Can you speak loudly?
He spoke about there were two roads, hard road, difficult road, and an easy road. And which one?
Okay. Easy road, difficult road. That's true. What was the idea behind the example? You know, the example basically could be a metaphor for something, to bring your attention to something, or to pay your attention to something. What was the idea behind the example? Yes, sister?
It was about heaven and hell.
Heaven and hell. Paradise and hell. Jannah and Nar, for example, in Arabic, which means, okay, how? What was the metaphor? What was the idea? What was the morale behind it? Yes, brother?
No matter how hard the road is, pick the road that leads you to
Excellent. One of the lessons that we can sum up in our language, no matter how the road is hard, okay, if it leads you to your destination that you claim, go through it. And I think I managed to prove to you logically that this is what we apply in our daily life. You remember? At least in many cases, such as studying. Anything else was highlighted last time? Anything? Any message? Type. It's good. You know, this kind of 3 to 5 minutes, I always use them to refresh your memory, plus to bring everyone on the same track that we are in. Okay? Today, we will carry on with the author himself. Now, after that, no need to open the book, just listen, because I will be reading something very later. In page 16, you know, 15 was the example. In page 16, he's continuing, after finishing the example, he said, the author, Sheikh, for those who are with us in the internet, the book is General Introduction to Islam by Ali Tantawi. In Arabic, تعريف عام بدين الإسلام. Now, more often than not, human nature opts for the easy way because it seems effortless, enjoyable, and does not involve any suffering. It prefers to go its own way and to free itself of all commitments and responsibility. If we are left to the normal, basic human nature, most of us, if not all of us, we would love to take the easy way, like the children. Okay? Now, he continues. God has created this human instinct, and everyone, if left to himself, would follow the second path. The easy one, because it's full of entertainment, nice, enjoyable things, etc. Even though it will lead you to a certain death. But who cares? Okay, who cares? If my interests are there, basically, who cares? Now, he continues, however, here comes the serious point. The human mind, which is created by God, this is the instinct, okay? If we are left just to this, feelings, interests, okay, something that I would love to do. If I'm left just to these things, I could be doing horrible things in my life. But I was given another device to work together with this, which is, he says, the human mind intervenes at the junction of these two roads and applies the brakes. The power of intellect now. Okay? Al-aql. The intellectual power, basically. He says, junction of these two roads and applies the brakes. It urges man to reflect and weigh up his options. Will he choose to enjoy short-lived pleasure followed by unremitting pain, or a brief and temporary period of pain followed by eternal bliss and joy? Eventually, he will choose to take the first road. Now, he's explaining to us, if we are left just to our, okay, our inner nature, by its simplicity, without the full package of creation, which is this and this. We are not just feelings. We are not just, you know, desire. Sorry, yes. We are not just desires. No. Okay, we have desires, but we have the break as well. By the way, I think maybe there's a good percentage of you now. You would love to be in the cafeteria drinking a cup of coffee or a tea or having a nice sandwich with a friend. True or false? But you are coming to the course for something that was taken as a decision by this, not by this. Got my point? By the way, that's why we say we appreciate the human being as long as he's using this. If this is stopped for whatever reason, we do not consider this person a normal human being. That's why if someone is completely drunk means one is what? Has stopped. Khalas. There is no power of intellect. There is no logic. Khalas. He could be less than an animal. Am I exaggerating? A fully drunk person, could he be less than animal or not? Because he, by the way, an animal basically by his inner nature may not cause any harm. But someone who's drunk, driving a car, could kill you, himself and others. Maybe he will throw his child from the window. Because he's not aware of what he is doing. That's why now he's paying our attention to the power of, to the inner nature, the instinct. Now, depending on this example, taking the two roads, I will add something which does not exist in the book. I will add it in my way. And really, I would love you to pay attention and to focus. I believe, and I claim, if the example that I will or the concept that I will be highlighting in the coming 10-15 minutes, if it is really understood really thoroughly, and I was able to convey it to your mind, and you are convinced this could change your life, in my understanding. So please, be fully focused with me. Plus, when I finish, if there is nothing clear, don't let me continue before make it clear. Okay? Type. How do I, as a Muslim, understand the concept of the fitrah? In Arabic, fitrah. In English, instinct, or the human inner nature. لاحظوا, we say human inner nature. By default, there is external human nature. Inner, external. Okay, what is the external human nature? Basically, human nature, the external aspect of the human nature basically is the human being who has a head, two hands, two arms, okay? This type of body, this shape, 2 legs, 2 feet, blah, 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 etc. Now, if I am born without arms or legs, I will be called disabled. صح? True or false? If I'm born with, say, for example, 3 hands and the other one without a hand, I'm not able to walk. I will not be called a normal human being. True or false? So we have a concept for a normal human being. If I'm born without any power of intellect, I will be called, if I don't have this, not the physical one, if I don't have the power of intellect, al-aql, I will be called what? Crazy. They called me what? Crazy person. It's not a curse. I'm not. You know, basically, if I don't have it, they say this person is crazy. So we have a normal, what? External aspect of the human being. Now, look, this external shape of the normal aspect of the human being, basically, was it designed by us or it was designed by an external power? For us as Muslims, this external power who has taken the decision, we believe it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, God Almighty. For some people else, forget them now, they believe that, for example, the nature, Mother Nature, regardless what Mother Nature is. This is what they say. I'm talking about atheists now, okay? Mother Nature. When, why, how? Let's forget it. We as Muslims, we believe the one who has taken the decision to let us be as such is God. Okay? So it's not our decision. Be careful. It was designed by Him. It's not me and you. It's not he and she. It's not they and them or us who decided, okay, it's good to have just 2 eyes, not 4 eyes. No. It's God who decided so. Okay? Full agreement so far? Right. Step further now. This external human nature basically has some specific fixed features and some flexible features. Now, I was born with bones. True or false? By nature, bones are very tough, harsh, solid, and very powerful. True or false? Can you imagine a bone which is very flexible? If bones are so soft, what could happen to us? We can't walk. We can't stand. Like the backbone, if it's very soft, we will be melted. Wallahi, I'm not joking. No one can stand. Are you with me? Type. It's not my decision, be careful. It's God who created me with bones. Plus, between bones we have joints. Now joints plus some kind of muscles and tissues. Sah? True? Okay. Now, fixed joints with relative flexibility, not ultimate flexibility. Now, if I want to move this part, I have to break it. But if I want to move this part out of this part, I have this flexibility from here to there. If more than that, I will break it. Type. If I want to move all of this, do I have some flexibility here? Yes. 1, 2, let's say this. Can I go beyond that? Can I say, for example, like a Dragon Ball? No, I can't do it. So, okay, so I have flexibility of this. This is the flexibility I can maneuver. True or false? More than that, I will hurt or I will break. Okay? Okay. Step 3. Now, in addition to this, I have the skin. Under the skin, I have muscles. True or false? Muscles were designed, and the nature of the muscles that they can be weaker and stronger, it was created by the Creator. I was given the ability, in case if I would like to make these muscles very powerful, I have to go through an exercise on daily basis with weightlifting, health system, sports system, swimming, gym, proteins, vegetables, etc. صح? Now, if I left these muscles without any kind of training, what could happen? They will be in the weakest point and could reach to a point that I can't move them. Look now, are you with me so far? Am I saying something philosophical or something very clear physical? And you all realize what I'm saying? Okay. Exactly like the external aspect of the instinct, we have internal aspect now, the inner nature. Now, we realized from the external nature, which is the half part of the FITRAH, that this FITRAH contains fixed things, flexible things. Things not just flexible, you can make it very powerful and you can kill them if you decide it. Let's go inside now. Inside your FITRAH, you were given some built-in fixed things exactly like your shape. By fault, you realize what is good and what is bad with the basics and the very clear things by default. And I call it, now, what is good, what is bad, what is right and what is wrong, you realize them by default in your inner nature. It's fixed, it's built in. I call it in my language, I call it the FITRAH, the inner nature. I call it in my language the basic minimum requirement of the divine built-in system. I repeat, the basic minimum requirement of the divine built-in system that helps you to realize what is good and what is bad and what is right and what is wrong. I will give you an example. Now, since we are born, we realize many things without paying attention that we do realize without any kind of education or teaching or philosophy or schools or even parents. For example, now if I'm 1 year old, 1.5, 2 years old, no one can claim that I'm a philosopher now or anyone has taught me some philosophical things. Imagine a child who's not able to talk yet, which means there is no way of communication orally. If we brought any child from anywhere on earth, in general, Chinese, Japanese, Arab, Western, European, African, South American, North American, Canadian, whatever. This child of 1.5 years, if he or she is holding, let's say, a bar of candy, a piece of something sweet, okay? Leaking, actually enjoying. Now, if you came and took this sweet candy by force in a very tough way, generally, wherever you go, what could the possible reaction be? Crying. Look, all of you say crying. Good, type. Now, let's repeat the experiment now. This child, let's say 100 child, out of most places on earth, they are holding the same nice piece of whatever, sweet thing, candy, okay? Now, I came in a very nice way, holding something seems more sweet and more delicious. Let's say he or she is holding a piece of chocolate, I'm holding an ice cream. Without talking, just my body language and face expression, I let him or her feel in a way, would you like to exchange what you have with what I have? Can I do it? Is there a possibility that this child who has not received any kind of education to exchange by his own will what he's holding with what I'm holding? Is it possible? Percentage? What? Let's say 50 يا سيدي مشان ما حد يزعل. So as to not to let anyone else unhappy بقى. Okay, 50-50. The possibility is there. طيب. Third scenario. If we have the same 100 child holding this piece of chocolate or whatever sweet, and I came and I was an excellent actor. I let this child by crying, I was crying, acting as if I'm very poor and I am need, and I was, trying to let's say, to touch his or her feelings. I acted as if I'm crying and I would love to have this sweet thing. I don't have anything on earth. Okay? Something. Is there a possibility that this child will give this without any compensation, just out of his own or her own free will? Is it possible? طبعا. Some of them, by default, they are very generous. No talking, no discussion, no philosophy, nothing. Look now, 3 scenarios. First scenario, I'm trying to give you an idea about the inner nature now, to prove to you what inner nature could be without even you paying attention to it. Scenario number 1. Now, 1 exchanged with another 1. In my humble language, this contains a very deep philosophy. The child who's holding this nice thing believes by default what I'm holding is mine. It's my personal property. This is law and philosophy, by the way. If you want to take it, sorry, I forgot the first example, to take it by force, okay, without any permission, just take it like this. Now, what I hold is mine. What is mine should not be taken unless by my permission. You took it by force without a permission. You are a thief. You are a dictator. You are an oppressor. Therefore, I can't speak. I can't express. The only way I can tell you, you are a bad person, you must be in jail, is by crying. Wow. Now, if you want to translate this, this means, I will show you if I have the power. You are such and such and such. But this is by inner nature. Are you? Number 2. Now, I came with something else that could or seem more delicious. Now, no force. I'm like asking him or her, would you like to exchange? He's thinking. She decided to, by his own free will, to take something and to be replaced with something else, whether it's better or less her. This is mine. This is philosophy, by the way. Deep philosophy. Wallahi. Scenario number 3. As a human being, by my inner nature, I realized I'm a 1.5-year-old just. I realized that this person needs sympathy. He's a poor person. He's crying. I must be sympathetic with him. So I decided to get rid of my own property for him or her because he's crying, and I decided to do it by my own free will. This is another philosophy, by the way. This has to do with the international law, by the way. This 1.5-year child, normal human being, was able to realize everything in his own way. Got my point? Plus, another example. Do you know the, I hope I remember the term, the sewage? You know the sewage? ريحة ميت المجاري. You know sewage? Please tell me how many of you, at the first time when you had the golden chance to smell the sewage, you were very happy, like why you are crying? Why you are laughing? Because it is impossible. Why? Maybe it's impossible in Jordan, but I think maybe it's applicable in something else. Why you are laughing? By nature, no one of us would love this smell by nature. This is a very ugly, tough smell by inner nature. No one enjoys the smell of the sewage. No one. But by the way, have we been receiving special private lessons by our parents and tell us, look, my dear son, you are just 2 years old now. There is something on earth called sewage. Sewage basically is a liquid that contains a lot of bad things. This liquid goes through some kind of channels underneath us. And it's part of the pampers and the huggers that you use to... Okay, my dear son, my dear daughter, please, when you smell this, you must react in a bad way. Okay? But daddy, I feel happy. No. You must feel sad, like this. Otherwise, you are not a normal human being. Do we do this by nature or by nurture? By nature. Are you with me? By the way, I could be giving you tons of examples about something common. That's why we can claim that we have a common human ethics. Otherwise, if you don't have this, you can't. By the way, because of this, we can't translate languages. Otherwise, translating is impossible. شو دخل هذا بهذا؟ Unless what I'm saying is true 100%, translation from a language to another language is impossible. معي انتوا شو عم بحكي؟ Who thinks that he or she does not understand what I'm saying about language? A translation, if we do not have a common nature, we can't translate. It's impossible. لأنه, now basically, when I say yes in English, which is equal to نعم in Arabic, which is equal to, I don't know, other languages. Who knows Spanish? See? For example, look now. Yes, نعم, si. German, who knows German? We French. We. لاحظ. Yes, نعم, si, we. Now the sounds completely differ from each other. They all give one meaning, which is yes in English. Okay. Now the yes in English means I'm listening to something, I'm asked to approve something, to confirm something, to affirm something. Now one of the ways, the oral sound is the yes, which is the same si or the we. Now unless by default you realize the concept of affirmation, acceptance, rejection, the concept of, okay, for example, like تأكيد, for example, when I, in Arabic for example, if I asked you, hey, in Arabic, بدك تيجي معنا يا عمي جاي. What have I done now? It's slang language طبعا. أو نعم جاي. In English, hey, yes, I'm coming. In French, oui, I don't know what's شو بالإسبانيش. Si. I don't know that. For example, basically, this is called in Arabic takrar. But in English, repetition. The action is the same. Why I am confirming something by repetition? It's a human nature. But in English, I repeat yes. In Arabic, I say نعم, or or It depends. You are Syrian or Jordanian or Palestinian or Lebanese or whatever. But at the end, the understanding of the core point within yourself is the same. Or otherwise, you can't translate, by the way. Now, I'm just telling you about how to realize or how to accept the possibility that the human nature is there by God. Okay? This human nature is the basic, borderline, the bottom line, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because of it, is able to apply on us the Islamic term, iqamatul hujjah. Now, translating iqamatul hujjah is very difficult. Iqamatul hujjah, literally, to establish the argument against. It's an Islamic term, which means, now, unless God created the basic human nature by default with us, God, if He, let's say, sent a system, a religion with a prophet in a certain time, okay? And other people were not witnessing the revelation, yet they are asked and responsible to accept, and if they reject, they will be rejectors for God's system, even though they did not witness. Now their ability to realize and to compare and to feel and to analyze by nature, regardless now of the added value of knowledge, they can realize the concepts, okay? Now you realize by nature, part of your feelings, many things without having any kind of education. Let me tell you another example. Now, if you deal with someone for a while, if someone asks you about him, what do you think about him? I say, Wallahi, I feel really very comfortable with him. He's a very nice person. He's very honest. Okay, so what? So what, ya Zalmi? Being honest is something very valuable. Who decided that being honest is something very valuable? Is it something that you were educated to, or something by nature you feel it? Even if no one, imagine that you did not go to school. No one taught you. If someone is honest with you, by nature you will respect him. If someone is lying, by nature you will not trust and you will hate. So I'm just telling you about external and internal. Okay? Depending on this inner nature, Islam is addressing the people in many things. And now I will give you one example, then I will jump to another concept of the chapter. There is something called the golden rule in religions. Golden rule. Golden rule, basically, heavenly religions and non-heavenly religions, they all have this golden rule. In the area of comparative religions and the meetings between heavenly or Abrahamic or monotheistic, depends on the term that they use, plus the man-made religions, they all agree on the golden rule. Golden rule basically is don't do to others what you hate others to do with you. This does exist in Judaism, Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, Hinduism, Shintoism, all of them they have it. In our culture, in our religion, it was said literally by Prophet Muhammad, لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يحب لأخيه ما يحب لنفسه. Look, none of you will be a true believer unless he or she loves to his brother what he loves to himself or to herself. Look, this has nothing to do with the education. It has nothing to do with the fact that you are a Harvard student or MIT or Stanford or Cambridge or Oxford. Nothing. What you love to yourself, love it to others. By this, you know that when you do something bad, okay, I did not know. You did not know. If this was happened with you, what could happen? I will kill him. Okay, so this is bad. خلاص عمي. How many things that we can apply in this rule in our life? I'm not saying everything. Sometimes you have some complicated things, very sophisticated. Maybe 10%, maybe 20%, 30%. But the rest? By the way, do we need a religion to tell us that we hate anyone to backbite us? شو backbiting? لاحظوا شوفوا backbiting, it's a metaphor. الغيبة والنميمة. Okay? Backbiting. It's as if from your back arm. You see? From your back. Now, is there anyone who loves being attacked by this ugly manner? Do you need a religion to tell you this is wrong? You realize it by default, whether you are a Jew or a Christian or a Buddhist or even an atheist. The religion comes now as the completion with the added value, most powerful element to fix this thing and to make sure to be used in the best capacity. But by nature, we have the same. Are you with me so far? Now let's come to the sensitive points. If you realize, I said the basic minimum requirement. I did not say the full capacity. Basic minimum, which means we have a lot of other things. In Islam, in my understanding, we believe in the following. Let's imagine, just to make it, to visualize it in a very simple way. Let's imagine that this is the human being now. Now, let's say, here comes in this books the full inner nature. The basic minimum requirement is this. Okay? Now, we all share this. But the extra basically is like, to make it a little bit simple, like now the computer. Laptop, desktop, mobile, whatever. Let's come to the example of the computer. Now the computer, it is designed in the factory by the manufacturer to have a screen and a keyboard, etc. صح? And you receive it by having the operation system, i.e. Windows. Windows is not you who designed it. Someone else, and it was a built-in with the computer. True or false? Now, all of us, we have the hardware of the computer, the external inner nature. All of us we come with Windows or OIS, I think, or شو اللي تبع الأبل؟ iOS. Regardless, let's use the Windows. All of us, we have the operating system in Windows. Now, without the Windows, I can't download the Office. Without the Windows, I can't download the Adobe family. I can't use Photoshop. I can't use Adobe Premiere. I can't use Illustrator. I can't. Okay, type. So I need this to download this. Now, Office and Adobe can be bought as a genuine copy or as illegal copy. True or false? Now, having a genuine copy means full protection from viruses or any kind of destruction while you are operating the full system. Now, is it true that I can have a non-genuine one, a false one? Can I have? طبعا, $1, or I can steal a non-genuine Office. But God knows when it will stuck or what will stop or what kind of destruction could happen to your files. I don't know. That's why please have the genuine one. Full protection from, let's say, viruses. Full protection. Always the latest, updated, etc. Are you with me? Now, why I'm telling you now? Now, the completion of the system, which is the software, is the revelation by God, Allah. God's software has updates. Windows 95. Windows 2000. صح? Windows 7, 8, 10. Windows Vista ولا شو اسمه هذا ولا what a Vista? طب how many versions of Windows did we have? Updates. Just to make an example, some updates. Now, let's say ولله المثل الأعلى. For example, Microsoft decided just to have this is the final. Okay? Now, this is exactly what I'm talking about. God revealed as a revelation through prophets and messengers to complete the software with the inner nature. Which means, do this, eat this, act as this, don't do this, don't say this, you will have the full capacity of, and you will achieve the best results. But what if I replaced this with another homemade, man-made, woman-made, system-made, society-made? Can I operate? Yes, but not as efficient. May God be with you, because no one knows when the system will collapse. And when it collapses, a disaster will happen. Face the consequences. You have the money, you know the genuine source, download the genuine software or you will lose the best result to be achieved. This is what do you mean by revelation. For example, God revealed, let's say, to Adam, to Abraham, to Noah, to Moses, to Jesus. The last software in Quran is Islam, from Islamic point of view. Now, Islam is a full software. It's like the compatible full system to be applicable with the inner nature. As a full capacity, you will have the best results. To function as a human being, hardware and software. Is it clear? Now, okay, I'm using the computer because maybe it's one of the best ways to make it simple. I'm telling you the whole idea is basically how to look from Islamic point of view about the relation between the instinct, inner nature, and the revelation. They go together, okay? Now, I have just 3 minutes left. On this point, do you have any kind of questions? Something not clear? Is it okay with you? Do you feel that I'm able to convey the message? It's clear in your mind what I'm talking about? Any problem? طيب, let's stop now. Next time I will be dealing, inshallah, with another example from chapter. And don't forget that on Thursday you will have a very quick, short quiz. You have a video on you. By the way, if for whatever reason your mobile is not showing you the video, go to see it through either your laptop or desktop. There's something with some applications that you can't see the video. A video, there is a debate in Oxford University, and it's translated to Arabic. Basically, it's in English about Islam. Just listen to the video. I will be asking you very short one question. Simple question out of 5 marks at the end of the session, for 5 minutes. Okay? Thursday. Thursday, yes, not Tuesday. Assalamu alaikum.